Hey, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to do hopefully a short one here on just some mining concepts related to mining in the Aridia pocket. And yeah, not really so much how to mine, just kind of how to keep yourself safe and what there is to mine. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing, you're obviously going to be training for some kind of mining ship. So it's going to be different choices, right? So you're going to have your fleet mining ships that boost the fleet. This is mainly going to be your alt, or if you're really mining with the group a lot. Um, you're probably going to be going up at this tree right here. So probably starting off with a venture, maybe doing some mining in the mission or in the belt. And then you'll progress up to a mining barge. And maybe even detect 2 mining barges like I have. Now, one thing to understand is some of these mining barges will, as you can see, like this one has way more bonuses than the skiff that I'm in. So if you get the more expensive mining barge, you can mine a lot more. The problem is these expensive mining barges don't have a lot of defenses, so they can be blown up very, very easily. So in a strange way, it's extremely dangerous for you to fly an expensive mining barge. So I'm going to go ahead and undock here. So, for instance, if you're flying a Hulk, you can warp to a belt, right? And you can do a lot of mining. And while you're doing that mining, you're probably not going to have any issues. You'll be able to kill most of the belt in your high-end mining barge, right? But you're in high sec, and the thing is, somebody can scan the local and they can figure out that there's a high-end mining barge mining. And the problem with that is they're very easy to kill. So all they have to do is get their friend, and him and these 2 people just get their destroyers, and they come after you and they suicide attack you. And you're like, well, why would they do that? That's like mean. Well, your modules are very expensive, so if a couple drop, they will actually almost pay for their ships. Your mining lasers mainly. But also your ship itself is worth a lot of money, right? So in high security space, our Aridia home here, we recommend that you fly only the Procure or the Skiff. So the Procure is like the Tech 1 version of this Skiff here. So you have the Skiff and the Procure. It shouldn't take you too long. I mean, well, it'll take you a little bit. So, I mean, be ready for that. But the nice thing is once you have it, you have the 6% bonus to ship shield hit points. So it literally puts you in a position where you have, as you can see, 14 or so thousand hit points. So you're almost impossible to kill. So now, if somebody wants to come in with a destroyer and kill you, they're going to have to get like 10 to 20, and it's going to get to the point where it's not worth it. Like, they're going to lose. They're going to come in, they might kill you, but then Concord will kill them, and the loss to them will be way higher than it's worth. So if you're going to be mining out here in the belts of Aridia, I highly recommend that you try to get yourself a more combat-oriented mining barge. And then once you have it, obviously train your shield skills up, train your mining skills up, and then more importantly on your fittings, please don't spend like every single slot putting mining upgrades in and like no shields, because you're gonna need some real shields. You're gonna need just a real tank. Make sure your effective hit points are at least above 10k, and you have decent resistance on all levels. In addition to that, you're gonna want decent drones, Tech 2s, as soon as possible. Maybe a set of light drones, a set of medium drones, and then your mining drones, of course. And then you just come out here and launch your mining drones, mine with your, I don't know why he's not. Let's see, is there anything closer? No. Just do your thing, start mining. And yeah, you'll have the you'll be able to defend yourself against the computer, and then more importantly, real players. As far as like, you know, if you're asking yourself, well, I want to fly the nicer mining barges that make me more money. You know, what am I gonna do that? Well, ironically, we fly the harder to kill mining barges that have more teeth and have shields and heavy drones in the high security pocket. But we do have a spot in Syndicate, and I won't show you exactly where, but it's basically out in Syndicate, and in that spot, it's 0-0 space, so anybody can kill you. You can be killed anytime. You can kill them. But see, unlike high sec, see you see in high security space here, there's locals here, there's other people here, but they don't have like a blue check mark next to their name, so I don't know if they're friends, right? Or plus sign actually. So in here it's fine because the chance of them suicide attacking me is low, but it can happen, and you know, but a Concord is here. But in normal 0-0, as soon as I would see anybody in local, I would right click and go dock up right away, right? I would hit station, go dock up, and that would be the end of that, right? So boom, warp out and dock up. So in that situation, there's no suicide attacks because anybody that comes in local is hostile, and if you're not warping away to save yourself as soon as somebody you don't know comes in the solar system, well, you deserve to die. So it's kind of a weird dynamic where, because we're helping each other, and there's less, like I said, you kind of know the threat more. You kind of end up flying the higher end mining barges that are less defensible. You end up flying them in low security space, while up here in high security space, you end up flying this mining barge, the combat ones, the skiff and the procure. Okay, so you have multiple things you can mine. Obviously, like you can sit in this belt, you can mine the ore. If you mine Veldspar out here, we will buy the Veldspar from you. If it's, you know, if you interested in selling it to us in the Heimeh. There's also the option for you to run missions. So I'm going to go ahead and dock and show you the missions. So in Avada, you have different stations, and one is the M20 Recomend Corporation factory, and there is a level 4 mining agent there. So what you got to do is, just like in one of my previous videos where I go over mission running, you have to figure out where the lower, you just go up here to agency, activity, the agency, and basically follow the steps in my mission running video, and you can find the mining agent, the lower level mining agent, sorry, that you need to do in order to get your standings up for the book or Comey. I believe one of them is a mining mission or a mining agent, and the other two, level 2 and 3, is distribution. So you got to do some hauling missions. The nice thing about mining missions, they are inside the mission itself. So like when somebody comes in the solar system, it's harder for them to find you, right? They have to actually scan you down. So here's the agent right here. It's harder for them to scan you. They have to scan you down. It's harder for them to find you. So you can go to the mining mission, and you can mine and make some money that way, and be left alone. The only problem with the mining missions, it's not normal ore. So like normal ore, you mine it, refine it, you can build ships with it, you can sell it. The ore that you get in the missions mainly is special ore that's only useful for the computer. So you have to just mine it and then go turn it into the computer. The nice thing, unlike normal combat missions, the mining missions don't pay very well, but they do give you a lot of loyalty points. So, you know, as a miner, you can get yourself mining implants, learning implants from the missions here. If you do combat, you can get ammo, get yourself special shields and stuff for your mining barge if you wanted them, and then also like Caldari specific ships. So yeah, there's some options there. The main thing you'd want to probably save that for would be the mine links, some other things you could sell. But there's that option, right? You can run missions with your mining barge. And for these missions, I would also recommend the skiff or the procure, because in the missions there's one or two that require combat. So you might as well just have some teeth. Alright. So what else can you do? Well, in some of my other videos I've discussed scanning for wormholes, And you can essentially use the same concept to scan for mining sites that are rare. And that could be any one of these red sites here. I don't have my scanner out right now, so I can't really tell you. There's also going to be other green ice or ore sites that you can warp to that are going to be in other systems. They'll be easily right here. You right click on them, you warp to them. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys something else. So this is the ice belt here. There's only one in like every area. So like we have 100. That's for like every 6-7 solar systems. There's one ice belt. And out here in our pocket, for the 6 or so solar systems in the pocket, there's one ice belt. So I'm going to go show you guys that. So what does that mean? Well, you could mine ice instead. You can switch these lasers out for ice mining. Now I'm going to be very, very specific here, and you need to really listen to this. So if you are gonna ice mine, I cannot stress this enough, only do it in a skiff. And only do it if you're ready to be harassed, possibly blown up, and everything else. Why? Well, this is the ice belt. And the ice belt is used for fuel. So like this ice is mined and then refined with planetary, like you do planetary interaction, you get some stuff from the planets, you mine this ice, and as you're mining this ice, you can then refine it obviously, and then you combine the ice with the planetary interaction stuff and use a blueprint to produce fuel blocks, which are then used to power space stations. So as you can see in the solar system here, there's some guys that have space stations up, and they're going to be fueling these with fuel blocks. The problem is the belt is not that big, and once it's mined, it only respawns every 3 hours. So this is kind of something people fight over. So that means you're going to be orbiting this thing, right? And this is where the main suicide attacks happen. It's not as common to be suicide attacked in a belt by destroyers, but all the miners out here, guys, are the same Russians that, basically the Russians that live in the pipe, and you know, when you, and the pipe is the low sec route that comes up from when you guys head to Aridia, right? A lot of these pirates have alts that live in this pocket, and the only thing those alts do is mine ice. We've caught them both using legal botting programs and just mining on their own. Both. They've done both. So they will basically sit up here and they'll just mine this ice. And if they catch anyone else mining the ice, they will start to... First, they'll warp in a battleship. And the battleship won't attack you because it's too much money for them to lose to the Concord if they attack you with it. But it's fast enough and has enough mass behind it where they will turn its micro warp drive on and they will run into you. And then its shields will collide with your shields, and then you will get bumped. And then that will force, basically, like your orbit. Let's say I'm going to show you. You're orbiting this thing. I don't have the right miners, but let's say you're orbiting this and you're mining it, right? They're going to come in and they're going to bump you out of range. So they're going to hit you, and all of a sudden your ship's going to fly at 15 kilometers over here. It's not going to blow up, but it's just going to float over here, and then it'll recover, and you turn, you know, and you will double click, and it'll come back around and slowly approach the ice belt. Well, the problem is it will push you out of range, turn off your ice miners, and you will lose a whole cycle of ice mining. You'll have to reapproach it and start mining again. And this is something that they do very often. I'm going to blow this rat up here. So be ready for that. Like if you're going to be mining ice here in Aridia, you're going to have a lot of problems. They're going to be doing that. If they see you continuously trying to mine their ice, and you're not in a skiff, they will warp in destroyers and blow you up. Or try to blow you up. So. Alright. And I'm going to show you here. So here's one of them probably. Here's his orca. And here's his mining ship. And he's basically just going to work on sucking this thing dry. And it looks like the computer's taking him on. So yeah. So again, mine ice at your own risk. Oops. I'm gonna launch some drones. Ah, nah, forget it. I'll bring those back. All right. I think that kind of concludes the video, guys. Oh no, actually, there's one other thing I want to do. Let me get off grid here and away from the crazy Russian miner people. Okay. So yeah, you can mine the ice here, but it's just do it at your own risk. You know, they're gonna bump you off the asteroid. They're gonna try to suicide attack you, and probably talk smack to you in local and Russian. If you do get into the point where like, man, I really want to mine that ice, so here's the thing with ice too. I told you earlier how to make the fuel blocks. Well, there's one component that's missing out here in high security space, and you have to import that component to finish making the fuel blocks. But if you go out to low security space, you have that in the belt already, so you can mine everything you need. So we actually prefer to do our mining out in 0-0. Low security space, where we basically know that anybody that comes in the solar system is not our friend and needs to die, and then we kill them and we go right back to ice mining. While here, it's this constant cat and mouse game of pushing each other off the asteroids and being mean and doing it all for ice that's subpar, and you know. Okay. So let's go back over this little recap. So yeah, you got your mining missions. You can mine in the belt. We'll buy your Veldspar. And there's the ice belt, but we really don't think that's too smart for you to mine the ice. Be careful with that. If you really want to mine the ice, then just work on getting your mining skills to the highest level and get accepted to the Mining Corp and the Alliance. And then you can just mine ice in 0-0 space with the rest of us. And yeah, the only other thing is there is, like I told you, you can scan down the rare ore and you can mine that too. I hope you found this video helpful. There is obviously the cloaked mining frigates, but that's more for low security space as well. They will basically be easily suicide ganked here in high security space, and don't even bother with that. And as far as the boosting ships, we have one, so that's usually enough for the fleet. And so do some of the other guys if you need a boost. So I really wouldn't, unless you're going to have multiple characters, that's probably something you don't really need to worry about either. All right. I hope you find this video useful. And like I said, if you got any questions, just send me an email. If you need a basic mining barge, we will give you one. That's no problem. Just let us know. All right. Go ahead and end this video. I hope you have a safe flight.